life, the circle of life, do you follow me? Has a place. So even after it's done giving your etheric body, your energetic body, what it needs, now it becomes the physical body. Isn't that amazing? It gives you the light, and now it gives you the substance. Because the plant becomes the soil, the minerals, the stone, and what they do is they grow plants, and the plants break down into compost again. Isn't that amazing? So everything is usable. But wow, let's mine the stuff, let's put some chemicals in, let's put polyester clothes on the people. Bad news. So we're the misstep. Not any other creature on this earth has done anything wrong except you. And pretty much almost everything we do is wrong. It's not like we do little bits of mistakes. Almost everything we do is a major mistake. And why? Because we're insecure. If we just let go and realize, hey, everything's perfectly fine, we don't have to manipulate and control all this stuff, we wouldn't be out there destroying our bodies, our lives, that of our children, that of fellow humans, and the earth that we live on. Unless we'd say, hey, it's perfectly fine. Now here's another interesting thing we just discovered only a few years ago. And this guy Wright for us from University of Washington, West here. Water directly collects energy from the sun at a greater level of frequency since it has less structure. Now, this is the opposite of what I'm being taught in school. They say the more structure, the more energy. I'm telling you the less structure, the more energy. Because the less structure means you don't have limits in energy. You follow that? So the totality of endless life is there in any energy. So it's like taking a straw and sucking the energy from the universe. When are you going to stop sucking? Ever. You get it? But if I only had a bottle and I was sucking, there's a limit. It's definitive on that. Oh, they don't get that one. That one's over their head, all the intellect, all the PhDs, they just can't get that one. This form of nourishment is essential to maintaining all life. Water. Tell me any life that we know of on this planet that doesn't require water. Matter of fact, one of the bigger health problems we have today is this very simple issue. It's not nourishment only, it's 60% of you lack enough hydration. And if you're dehydrated, you're in major, major trouble. Major trouble. Because what is the greatest conductor of electricity? What is 70% of your body made of? Now what happens if I don't have enough water in my body? Do you think the ionic frequencies and the magnetites and the universe and all this stuff we're talking about is going to work the way it should? No way! Because you cannot conduct and move the electromagnetic frequency where they should. The most important organ in the body for water is called
Skin?
brain. Brain. And 80% of your brain's made of water. Because you have, what percentage of cells are in the brain? 85%. 85 trillion cells out of your 100 trillion cells are in the brain, and 80% of your brain's made of water. And if you're dehydrated, do you have enough water in the brain? Bingo! You walk around confused. Oh, I have attention deficit disorder. I'm dyslexic. I have depression. I have schizophrenia. Oh, maybe you've had long-term dehydration, malnourishment, and you haven't figured out who the hell you are yet. Maybe that's what it is. And how do I know that? Because once we can get all those things taken care of, people come back. They no longer have these, quote, disorders. Remember, disorder stepchild is disease. Disorder is the lack of water. The lack of the continuum. You follow? Water, everything's working exactly like it should, except human perception, because of a lack of what? Imagination. We don't have an imagination. You can't fly. Women aren't as smart as men. Terrorists, Muslims are all bad. You follow? Lack of imagination. Jewish people cause all the problem. I had a guy in the gym a month ago try to tell me that the Jewish people control the world and they've created all the problems. I said, boy, these poor people, they have 20 million people, they must be up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week doing all this nonsense. And he said, the Rothschilds. I said, the Rothschilds are Anglo-Saxon Watts. They are not. I said, because they sound like they're Jewish? They're Jewish? I I said, what are you, out of your mind? This is people. I'm having this conversation in 2012. Talk to the wrong guy, that's all I can say. You're nuts? You're out of your mind? Its invisible nano-elements also collect ionic energy at a high level. So there's little things in the water, we don't even know what they are yet. But what I know is when I'm down diving sometimes, one of the most beautiful things I see is schools of fish. And when fish move, they move thousands and thousands of fish exactly the same way, like this. And when you see the refraction from the light of the UV article, or UV coming through the water, the phosphorus, that's what you're feeling. It's phosphorus on the skin of the fish, actually picks up the light and sparkles it. Even if you haven't been there diving, you see this, you can see it on film. So the whole school moves, and then when I'm watching it, it goes shoo. You see the light coming down and transmuting it. And actually, they're moving indirectly because of the light from the sun. If that wasn't there, you wouldn't move, they wouldn't move, trees wouldn't grow. We'd be a vacuum, a dark hole in space. Oxygen is essential for all life. And oxygen is an amazing, important element. Water is mostly what? Oxygen. How many of you know that 2/3 of the oxygen that the average person gets, healthy person gets, should be from water? Less, by far less, comes from breathing. Most of your oxygen should come from water. Why do you think when you get dehydrated, you die? It's oxygen deprivation. When you get dehydrated, you get hallucinate. Why? Because you don't have enough oxygen in the brain. How come you don't know this? How come this wasn't taught to us in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade? Well,
because you were our teacher, right?
yeah. Oxygen and water are the two most important nutrients. The raw food comes third. Raw food comes third. I take away oxygen, you're dead in 7 minutes, and take away water 3-4 days. So I can get months out of you before you die without food. So again, get to it. Get to how serious this is. So are you breathing proper oxygen all of the time? Are you drinking pure water that doesn't have pharmaceutical drugs in it and other chemicals? If you're not drinking distilled water, you are. It's the only water that we know of on the planet that doesn't have pharmaceutical drugs and chemicals in it or distilled waters. You're going to say, wow, I'm going to get minerals taken out of my body. Well, they've done a wonderful job from the water industry to tell you that you need minerals from mineral water and spring water. What they will do is do a great job in doing stones in your kidneys and bladders and hardening of the arteries, but they don't give you minerals. The minerals you need come from what? Ionic plant-based foods, electrically charged now. The only foods that you really truly digest are alive. Now, it doesn't mean you all have to be 100% raw the rest of your life. I'm not. I eat 5–10% this time of year, sometimes never. A little cooked food. Why? Because it's not religion. Now, if you have cancer, you've got to be religious. Be religious for 2–3 years. And by the way, we'll bless you at the point. Pope Clement will bless you. You're going to be okay. And then you can do. That doesn't mean you're going to go back to sausage again. That means what you're going to do is you're going to eat vegan diets, and you can eat up to 20%. We've done the work for you, the science on it, the history. You eat up to 20% of your diet by weight, 25% cooked food, vegan, plant-based, organic, and still not get sick from that. So again, get religion, then loosen up a little like that. But not to Domino's Pizza. That's not what we're talking about. Digestion ultimately occurs in the cell. The other big blank, I went back when I was 50, my wife and I, to get our PhDs in nutrition. We were stunned when we had to actually lie on 50% of the tests to pass it. If we had given the real answers, I mean the real answers that we know for sure are the real answers, we would have failed the test and not gotten our PhD. But never in history have I studied nutrition, which I've been studying daily, by the way, for 41 years. Did anyone tell me that nutrition ultimately occurs in the cell? I mean, digestion ultimately occurs in the cell. Now, where the heck do you think it goes? They say it's in the digestive tract. The digestive tract is a factory. The digestive tract takes the fiber, sticks it out the back, the water puts it into the body, and the nutrients into the cell. Digestion doesn't occur in the digestive tract. You follow me? No different than the metal that's stuck in the one side of the Ford Motor Company doesn't come out on the other side metal, it comes out on the other side what? A car, an automobile. So the digestive tract is a factory to separate things so that the nutrients can go into the what? The cell, who you are. You are cells. And unless you have those nutrients ionic, meaning what? Electrically charged, you're not going to be getting what you need to. So most of us are taking sugars out of food that's cooked and dead, and we're surviving on sugars, just like in a hospital. So I can put you in a hospital bed, give you sugar water, and you'll breathe for about 2-3 months before you die. You'll eventually die of malnourishment. But I can keep you alive for a period of time on sugar, because the biology, the earth energy, as we talk about, that we spoke about there, has learned to maintain on its own for a short period of time.
AGEs are formed through two distinctive pathways.
For those who didn't see this is the, now it's about 6 weeks old. This is the latest out of Europe. This is what all of us who are serious doctors and nutritionists and working with health understand all biological disease comes from. It comes from, number one, these are sugars and the way they literally look, to an artist's rendition, mixed with proteins. Now what they do is they start to age us. And when they age us, the sugars and proteins get deep into our tissue, start to disturb our chromosomes, our DNA in this life. And this attractive woman, in a matter of just a few years, starts to look much older than her time, as most people do, by the way. When I sit and look at people today, it's pretty simple to understand. People are prematurely aging. They end up with diabetes,